The trial is officially underway for the man accused in the murder of a Louisville construction worker gunned down on the job. And thanks for joining us for WHAS11 News at 5. I'm Connie Leonard.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. Opening statements heard today in Louisville in the trial of Keshan Stewart. Police say Stewart shot and killed Fred O'Bannon Jr. in November of 2021. O'Bannon worked for Louisville Paving and Construction. He was on the job in the overnight hours that day. The FBI said Stewart was originally trying to carjack him when he instead shot the father of 5. O'Bannon was gunned down and was sitting in his truck working overnight at the construction site along I-264 near the Dixie Highway exit.
LMPD Sergeant Chris Lane was shot in the face that night and survived. During opening statements, Stewart's defense did not deny his actions that day. They instead asked the jury to decide whether he intentionally committed those crimes.
November 19th of 2021 is the day a civilian joined in a police chase and ran down Keshan. November 19th of 2021 is the day that Keshan was not okay.
After opening statements, LMPD officer was the first witness called to the stand. He was on patrol at the time, and next up on the stand was Sergeant Lane. He told the court about the moment he was shot.
He fired through my window, and when I kind of came back to, my car was rolling backwards up the ramp, and he was attempting to break my window out with his gun.
The trial continues tomorrow. O'Bannon's mother, Anita O'Bannon, also plans to take the witness stand. She says she's committed to seeing this process to the end, no matter how long it takes.
A manhunt for an escaped inmate from Ohio has come to an end in Louisville. The FBI says it arrested 47-year-old Jerry Lee Cooper Monday night, just more than a week after he escaped from the Brown County Detention Center in Ohio. Cooper was awaiting trial for his alleged role in a murder-for-hire plot. Investigators believe Cooper was hiding in Mason County until yesterday when they said 2 people picked him up and drove him to Louisville. That couple was arrested and could face federal charges. FBI agent Olivia Olson spoke to WHAS11 about Cooper's capture.
Ultimately, using cell phone analysis and good old-fashioned police work, following logical investigative leads, we were able to identify a location in the Louisville area where Cooper may be located. We strategically placed agents in that vicinity in the event we were able to spot Mr. Cooper.
Cooper is now being held in Kentucky while he waits extradition to Ohio.
Late developing story we're following. The man accused of trying to kill President Donald Trump at his West Palm Beach golf resort last year has now been found guilty today. Ryan Ruth represented himself during the trial, but he does not have any legal education or experience. Ruth calling 3 witnesses, including 2 longtime friends, but he was cut off several times during questioning by U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon. Now, he declined to testify in his own defense and was thrown out of the courtroom after learning the verdict. Ruth will be sentenced on December 18th. New tonight at 5, one Kentucky lawmaker from Louisville is calling for JCPS board members to resign as the district faces a major budget deficit.
JCPS has until January to come up with a plan to make up $188 million in future budgets to keep the lights on.
The money crisis also puts the school district back into the focus of lawmakers who have long been critical of it. In interviews today, Isaiah Kim Martinez learned more about who they're blaming for this. Isaiah?
Well, Doug, Connie, I can tell you one thing state Republicans aren't a fan of, and that's a local tax increase to bring in more revenue. In fact, one of them tells me they'll do everything in their power to ensure that doesn't happen. One of Stephanie Henry Floyd's major priorities each day is providing after-school programs for JCPS students at United Crescent Hill Ministries. She questions how the school district finds itself short nearly $200 million for their upcoming budgets.
It's a great deal of money to be short, so my question is, where was the disconnect?
Republican State Representative Jason Nemes of Middletown puts the blame squarely on the JCPS board.
We're going to do whatever it takes. JCPS will not be substantially raising our taxes again. It will be an absolute war if they try to do that.
One of those school board members, James Craig, led a task force meeting this week designed to find areas to cut spending.
We are not going to be spending the same amount of money in the next budget year. We cannot. But we also have to explore our revenues.
Craig says all options are on the table to boost the money coming in, including property tax increases. Nemus tells me state lawmakers will not let the school board do that.
They are an abysmal failure. They need to apologize to the Jefferson County citizens, and I think they should resign.
Later tonight, we're hearing a renewed push once again to consider splitting JCPS up into smaller districts, making it smaller. More on that coming up here at 6. Doug.
Isaiah, thank you. In the city of Lexington, it's another crisis for education, with lawmakers calling for the resignation of the superintendent there and the school board chairman. The Fayette County Board of Education approving next year's working budget Monday night. The decision comes as the board faces increased criticism over transparency and leadership after revealing a $16 million shortfall earlier this year in Lexington. The budget passed on a close 3-2 vote.
Well, seeing all those buses makes us think of tomorrow. The kids are going to get wet out there in the morning.
And we've got rain showing up on our Max HD radar right to the west of us now. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Mallory Schnell. And so far, it's been a pretty dry day today, Mallory.
Yes, we're really in the calm between the two storm systems this week. So obviously we had a lot of rain yesterday and into the overnight hours, and then we have more on the way tonight and into tomorrow. Taking a live look toward downtown Louisville from our River City Eye Care camera. This is from the U of L campus here. It's part of our Shriners Children's Camera Network. Clouds are beginning to thicken back up, but we did get enough peaks of sunshine today to warm into the lower 80s. Dew points are in the 60s, so you can certainly feel that humidity. And as you can see here, dew points are in the upper 60s and lower 70s all across Kentuckiana. So it's a humid day. We are seeing those clouds thicken up. And though we've spent most of the day dry, we do have some isolated storms that are beginning to develop between Evansville down to Bowling Green. These will continue to lift northeastward, and then a better chance for storms really exists after sunset this evening and more so overnight. So showers and storms become widespread overnight. We're expecting heavy rainfall, gusty winds, and yes, that will take us to the bus stop forecast tomorrow morning. Make sure the kids have that rain gear handy, or allow yourself some extra time to take the kids to school tomorrow. Scattered storms possible by the afternoon and evening. Some of those evening storms could be strong. And of course, we'll talk much more about these rain chances. That's coming up in our extended forecast.
Thanks, Mallory. The Trump administration has warned against taking Tylenol, linking the pain and fever-reducing medication to a rise in autism.
But the Kentucky Psychological Association says autism was always around. We just test for it more often now. Ian Hardwitt has more from the group's director, who says it's too early to make any recommendations about Tylenol.
If there was a clear, easy answer, I feel really comfortable that we'd have it right now.
Eric Russ leads the Kentucky Psychological Association. He says the rising number of Americans diagnosed with autism can be explained by more frequent screening and disorders like Asperger's being reclassified to autism spectrum disorder. In 2006, CDC data showed 1 in 10 Americans diagnosed with autism. Today, it's 1 in 31 Americans.
And now we're much more likely to have kids flagged by a parent or a teacher or another adult in their lives and get them in for screening so they actually get the help that they need.
President Donald Trump believes he has one answer.
Don't take Tylenol.
Tylenol is the name brand version of the pain pill. This is just a generic version from a pharmacy. Its key ingredient is acetaminophen, which also treats fevers. The president blames that ingredient for a rise in autism across the country. Under Trump, the FDA will advise American doctors not to prescribe acetaminophen during pregnancy.
They are strongly recommending that women limit Tylenol use during pregnancy unless medically necessary.
The administration's most recently cited study from Johns Hopkins in 2019 found the likelihood of an autism diagnosis increased with the exposure to acetaminophen. A more recent Swedish study disagrees. It examined birth records from 1995 to 2019, looking at 2.5 million children. The study found siblings usually shared an autism diagnosis, even when one was not exposed to acetaminophen in the womb, while the other was exposed. Trump's administration pledged to dig deeper.
To identify the etiology of the autism epidemic and how patients and parents can prevent and reverse this alarming trend.
There is some investigation into the impact of fever on autism and again, other neurodevelopmental disorders. And it's important that we, again, let that science play out.
Russ said the FDA's advice jumps the gun on a scientific consensus. In Louisville, Ian Hardwick, WHAS11 on your side.
In a statement, Louisville's Norton Healthcare says, quote, "We urge pregnant patients to talk to their provider about taking any kind of medication."
And I shall dwell in the house of the Lord.
Family and friends of Jefferson County Clerk Bobby Holclaw, including top local politicians, attending a mass earlier today at Holy Spirit Catholic Church in Louisville to honor her life and legacy. Holclaw passing away earlier this month at the age of 81. As county clerk, Holclaw made it her mission to modernize the office with what she referred to as VIP service, value, integrity, and performance. Her son Brad speaking at the mass today, describing the joy she had in over 2 decades of service.
But over the past week, in talking to people remembering my mom, the overwhelming response describing her was loving. That was it. She loved people, and people would always say that they loved my mom. My mom was loving, and our mom spent her entire life doing great things, serving her community and helping and caring for others.
Well, in lieu of flowers, the family is asking you make any contributions to WHAS Crusade for Children. Just visit WHAScrusade.org to donate. And Riverlink is swapping out who handles their customer service, saying over the years there's been too many issues with invoicing and how long it takes to get customers to get answers.
Riverlink spokesperson Mindy Peterson today telling us that everything that is customer facing will be provided by a different company, but it could take some time before they find a substitute.
So basically that's everything that's touching the customer. So that's everything from image review when you cross a toll bridge, that's generating the monthly bills, that is providing customer service.
Kentucky and Indiana are paying the outgoing provider $2 million plus monthly payments during this transition. A spokesperson says that's to help the customer service experience in the meantime.
Right here tonight, there are all kinds of ways to verify your identity, including your fingerprints of your driver's license. But how would you identify your lost firearm? That's the question LMPD wants to answer in their new Save a Casing initiative. In a partnership with Next Level Ranges, Operation Save a Casing is designed to help locate lost or stolen firearms. The casings act like fingerprints. After submitting the casing to LMPD, the department will then try and match it. Gun owners can come out to the range and after spending a casing, collect the shell and to store in a special envelope in the event that the firearm is ever lost. Lieutenant Drew Fox explaining initiatives like this will help reduce liability.
But we see all the time the number of cars that are left unlocked and folks who think, you know, I know I locked it. I know I locked that car, right? Well, sometimes things happen and you know, in those instances, this is an opportunity for those folks to really help get the leg up.
Participation in the event is voluntary. The casings fired and collected are not kept, stored, or tracked by LMPD. By the way, gun owners are encouraged to attend this Saturday from 10 to 4 at Next Level Ranges.